heck is going on down here? I don't know. There is fear. This is capitulation, really.
You're not going all the way down!
In the space of 4 minutes and 48 seconds, the United States stock market lost nearly $1 trillion. $1 trillion. The FBI, the CFTC, and the SEC, every financial regulator in the most powerful country on earth, spent 5 years trying to find out who did it. The answer was here. A 31-year-old man living in his parents' house, eating his mum's cooking and playing FIFA in his spare time. No hedge fund, no Bloomberg terminal, no Wall Street connections. Just a keyboard, a custom algorithm, and a brain that could see something that nobody else could. This is the story of the Hound of Hounslow. Navinder Singh Sehro was born in 1979 to a Punjabi family who had immigrated from India to West London in search of a better life. His parents worked multiple jobs. His father drove a taxi. His mother cleaned offices. They settled in Hounslow, a suburb chosen not for its charm, but because the rent was cheap enough to make ends meet. Nav, as everyone called him, was quiet, intense, different in a way that nobody could quite put their finger on. In 1998, he enrolled at Brunel University to study computer science and mathematics. He was not particularly social, but he was extraordinary with numbers. His first encounter with trading came through a university roommate, a student who was quietly making money on tech stocks using his student loan. Nav watched. He asked questions. He became obsessed. But what really shaped him was not the stock market, it was FIFA. Navinder Sehro was ranked in the top 200 FIFA players in the world, not because he was lucky, because he had spent thousands of hours studying patterns, learning how opponents moved, identifying the tiny behavioural tells that preceded every decision. He was not playing a game, he was running a system, and he would take that exact same approach to the financial markets. After graduating in 2003, Nav responded to a newspaper advertisement seeking futures traders. It led him to Futex, a small proprietary trading firm based in Woking, Surrey. Futex was no Goldman Sachs, it was not JP Morgan. It was a room full of young traders betting their own capital on the futures market, learning by doing, losing money before they made it. But it was here that Nav found his edge. He noticed something that nobody else seemed to care about: high-frequency trading algorithms. The bots that dominated the E-mini S&P 500 futures markets were predictable. They responded to the same signals every time. Place a large enough order on one side of the market, and the bots would react. Price would move. And if you knew the bots were going to move the price, you could position yourself to profit from it before they did it. It was not genius. It was simple pattern recognition. The same skill he had spent years perfecting on a PlayStation. At Futex, Nav made his first £1 million trade, then his second, then his third.
To the other traders there, lots of them, wannabe traders, he was almost like a godlike figure because they would see how much money he was making, the size of the trades that he was placing, and it was just a complete mystery to them how he was able to do it.
He was by every account the most talented trader in the building. And then he went home.
Is almost like a kind of enigmatic figure at Futex. He has decided that he can't stand the disruption of his colleagues chatting amongst themselves, getting very excited with market moves. So he moves himself to a desk completely isolated where he can work on his own. He buys himself a pair of ear defenders. They're not headphones, they're literally ear defenders of the type that road workers use.
In 2009, Navinder left Futex and set up his own trading company from his parents' spare bedroom. The company was called Nav Sehro Milking Markets Limited. He was not being subtle. His target was the E-mini S&P 500 futures contract, one of the most heavily traded financial instruments in the world. Billions of dollars change hands every single day in this market. It is the heartbeat of American finance. And Nav had found a flaw in it. Here's how spoofing works. You place a massive sell order, say 1,000 contracts, just above the current market price. You have absolutely no intention of letting the order execute. In essence, it's fake. But to every other participant in the market, including the algorithms, it looks real. The bots see a wall of selling pressure. They assume the price is about to fall, so they start selling too. The price drops. You buy at the lower price, then you cancel your fake sell order, and the price bounces back. You sell for a profit. The whole thing takes literally seconds. Nav did not just do this occasionally. He did it thousands of times a day. He hired a programmer to build him a bespoke piece of software, a layering algorithm that could place and cancel orders faster than any human could manage manually.
Well, high-frequency trading is where the markets have evolved to, so people have written rules that would normally be executed in a human being's brain into the computer, and they trade at very high frequencies because and high speeds because the computers and the communications lines allow them to.
They buy stocks just before other people do and then resell them at a small increase, pocketing the tiny profit.
So what's happening is a kind of skim. People are getting scalped in the market.
The software was so effective that at certain points during the trading day, Nav's fake order represented more than 20% of all visible sell orders in the entire E-mini market. He was not a small player manipulating a thin market. He was a single man in a bedroom in Hounslow, routinely moving one of the deepest and most liquid futures market on earth. And then came the day that everything broke. On the 6th of May 2010, it began as a volatile day. European debt concerns were rattling markets. Liquidity was thin and traders were nervous. At 2:32 p.m. Eastern Time, Nav was at his desk in Hounslow, running his algorithm as normal. Over the course of that afternoon, he entered at least 85 separate spoof orders at various levels. Those orders represented well over 20% of all sell orders visible in the E-mini market. The algorithms saw the selling pressure and they responded. Then something unexpected happened. A large institutional fund called Waddell & Reed simultaneously began executing a legitimate sale of 75,000 E-mini contracts using a volume-based algorithm. It was not illegal, it was not unusual, but it hit the market at exactly the wrong moment. The two forces combined together. At 2:41 p.m, the Dow Jones Industrial Average began to fall. By 2:45 p.m, it had dropped 600 points. And by 2:47 p.m, it had lost nearly 1,000 points. The largest single-day intraday drop in the history of the New York Stock Exchange. Shares in major American companies briefly traded at 1 cent. Accenture, a company worth billions, was quoted at a penny per share for a few seconds. Other stocks briefly traded at 100,000. The system had not just been nudged, it had been broken. Then just as suddenly it recovered, within 20 minutes the market had clawed back the majority of its losses. But the damage was done. Ordinary investors who had stop-loss orders had been wiped out at the bottom. Pension funds had sold at catastrophic prices. Billions of dollars had been transferred from retail investors to the algorithms that had exploited the chaos. And in Hounslow, Nav turned off his computer and went downstairs for dinner. The SEC and CFTC launched an immediate investigation. For months, they could not explain what had happened. Early reports blamed a fat finger error. a trader who had accidentally added a zero to an order. That theory was quickly dismissed. It took 5 years. 5 years of forensic analysis of billions of trading records before investigators finally traced the pattern back to a single account. Nav Saro Milking Markets Limited, Hounslow, West London.
It took authorities 5 years, guys, to track down this lone British trader allegedly involved in a 2010 flash crash.
Navinder Singh Saro, dubbed the Hound of Hounslow, has been accused of manipulating the market.
US regulators claim he made about $40 million.
On the morning of the 21st of April 2015, officers from the Metropolitan Police arrived at the Saro family home in Hounslow. Navinder Singh was arrested at his front door. He was charged by US authorities with 22 counts of fraud, market manipulation and spoofing. The maximum sentence, if convicted on all counts, was 380 years in federal prison.
The British trader accused of helping cause the May 2010 flash crash spent last night in jail.
The financial world was stunned, not because a trader had been arrested for market manipulation. That happened regularly. But because of where he lived. The press had a field day. The Hound of Hounslow, a play on the Wolf of Wall Street, became the headline of the year. Here was a man who had reportedly made $40 million trading from his childhood bedroom. Never bought a house, never bought a car, and never spent money on anything except his trading setup. And he had been living with his parents the entire time. But the story was about to get stranger. By the time Nav was arrested, investigators discovered that much of his $40 million was gone. Not spent, not hidden offshore, gone. Nav, for all of his extraordinary ability to read financial markets, had been catastrophically naive about the real world. He had handed tens of millions of dollars to fraudulent investment schemes. One involved a supposed trading fund that turned out to be a Ponzi scheme. Another involved a company that claimed to be generating extraordinary returns and simply disappeared with his money. The man who had outsmarted the most sophisticated algorithmic trading system on Earth had been scammed by people operating out of email addresses. In November 2016, Nav was extradited to the United States. He pleaded guilty to 1 count of wire fraud and 1 count of spoofing. He agreed to forfeit $12.8 million, the amount prosecutors could directly attribute to his illegal trading. He then cooperated extensively with US authorities, helping him understand the mechanics of spoofing and high-frequency trading manipulation in ways that no regulator had previously understood. On the 28th of January 2020, Judge Virginia Kendall sentenced Navinder Singh. The prosecution recommended no additional prison time, citing his extraordinary cooperation. His diagnosis with Asperger's syndrome, which his legal team argued had made him unable to fully appreciate the social and legal consequences of his actions, and the 4 months he had already served in Wandsworth Prison in 2015. Judge Kendall agreed. Nav was sentenced to 1 year of supervised home detention. He walked out of that courthouse and flew home to Hounslow. So what do we take from this? The markets that we're told are the most sophisticated, most liquid, most efficient pricing mechanisms in human history were moved by one man in a bedroom using a technique that any moderately skilled programmer could replicate for 5 years, and nobody noticed. Think about that. One man, one computer, 20% of one of the most traded markets on Earth. The flash crash did not happen because Nav was a criminal mastermind. It happened because the market was already fragile, because algorithms were chasing algorithms, because liquidity was an illusion that evaporated the moment it was tested. Nav did not break the market. He revealed that it was already broken. And the most extraordinary part of the story, after everything, the arrest, the extradition, the guilty plea, the sentence, Nav reportedly went back to trading, not for profit, not for revenge, because it was the only thing he had ever truly understood. If you want to understand how markets actually work, not how they teach you in textbooks, but how they really work, then the link to my trading program is below in the description. I hope you've enjoyed this documentary about trading. Hit the like, get in the comments, and make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next trading documentary.